Hello and welcome to the Blue House Bull Session. Once again, happy Tuesday to you this lovely Wednesday evening. Happy to be here, joined as always by my best friend forever and lovely co-host, Uber Fuzzy. And we have a special guest with us tonight, fresh new boy, Danny Craig.
Hi, hello. It is me, the fresh new boy.
Feel free to introduce yourself a little bit. I'm stalling for time anyway, so.
Sure. I'm Danny. I'm 30 years old. I wake up with back pain, and I have two cats, one of which is right here.
Aw.
I was I've been a cartoonist for 8 years and then recently moved to Durham, North Carolina. So now I'm doing other things. I'm working on a game of some sort
A
with some
game,
people,
you
and
say?
also and writing my books with my people, my partners, Neocosmos, and also working on becoming a graphic designer.
I am sorry to hear that for your sake. it
No, it's fun. It's fun.
the work
I'm
itself is fun. The clients are terrible. The environment for it. You're in one of the few places where the market is
yeah,
not bad for that. Because I spent a
yeah.
lot of time wanting to get into that and then discovering I have no talent or skill. And I was unwilling to build talent or skill by practicing. So,
No. You mean you tried something new and weren't perfect at it?
so I
I've
had to
never
drop it
had that.
immediately. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. Of
the way
course, of
everyone
course.
acts, right? So
Yes.
you have a background in cartooning. You worked on one of them indie shows, one of them lesser known Stevie something. I don't know.
I think it's a Stefan
Small Wonder.
Galaxy.
You're gonna kill us all. I love it.
Oh,
We have
crossover potentials.
we have so many questions about that, but I'm sure eventually you get tired of hearing them. So
I actually usually I do, people who it's not often that I meet like people who like I get to surprised with that information and then there's like further conversation happening. Usually it's just sort of like an in passing, like, haven't I heard you? Oh yeah, I worked on this. Wow, that's cool. And then it's like, okay, goodbye. So
so it's not like an all the time thing that you get people that are like, "What's with the pearl inside a pearl inside a pearl thing?"
no
Talk to me
no
about that. We have so many. What even?
No. Pearlception, I get. I can write that off. That makes sense. Bubbles, air.
bubbles.
Why can he breathe in space? Does the bubble provide air? If so, why can't he just bubble up inside the pink universe? And why does sometimes it provide air with two people, with him and Connie, for a lot longer than a short trip in space? Do they make air or not? Why is there air on the moon? Why was the thing pressurized?
Look, anytime you have a question like that, the answer is simply a wizard did it.
No, it's
The air on the moon they figured out. It's because sound. They talk out loud.
Yes. I think the best way to deal with those sorts of pressing questions is to reference the lyrics of the MST3K openings, which is it's just a show, so I
Which is
should
dope.
really just relax.
Yeah.
There's that's the beginning and end of the numbers and mathematics and physics involved with making a sci-fi cartoon.
Yeah.
What do you think was your favorite part if you had to pick like a recurring task or something? Not like a specific memory, but from what you did for the show, what did you enjoy the most about what you did?
Posing for dialogue. Posing for dialogue was so fun. So board artists and the writers, sort of work on the script, the dialogue as it's being worked on, because it was a board-driven show. Steven Universe was, so it wasn't like they were handed a full script and had to draw it. But because there was so much they had to do that I also did when I was a board artist, was pose out the acting for the characters within reason. But a lot of times, as a revisionist, boards get to me and would not have, like, there would be like a whole paragraph of dialogue, just be Pearl doing this and then that, and so I got to like listen to the like animatics and like hear the voice acting as well as um, imagine how I would want them to express, and so it's not really in betweening. It's more like just putting in that I don't. You kind of are the director in a way, moving the characters how you want them to.
Well,
Although we had to, there was a ban on making characters do this.
I
Yep.
I can see that because I feel like that would happen all the damn time given the dialogue.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, you're on a talking head show right now. We've seen enough documentaries before that when you have someone just kind of monologuing, there isn't that motion, that dynamic expression that comes along with it. And the two really do tie together. So I can definitely see that being like one of the fun things is you drive the story as much as the words do when you're showing what they're doing when they're talking.
Yeah. I feel like everything was a group effort in a way that, I mean, that sounds corny, but like that was sort of Rebecca's sort of like crew theme, which is essentially we all make the show. Like everybody is creating the show. It's not just her thing.
So coming
But
off
yeah,
of that and working with a dictatorial madman on this video game.
Oh yes, yeah. Most controlling boss ever. Oh no, no, no. It's more. It's I'll pitch something and be like, what about this and this and this? You just make it happen. I trust you.
It's been a learning experience for me too because the strange thing is I'm very used to working with other people and I'm very used to working on big projects. I'm not very used to working with big people or other people on big projects. I'm not used to handing over my ideas.
So, sorry.
No, it's
no, the big. I just like imagine like a cutaway of all of us being fat.
I mean, I can't argue it. But no, I mean, Fuzzy is usually right there to tell me when I'm doing something wrong, but not that I'm doing the wrong thing. He's great at making sure that the execution is okay, and he'll stop me before I do anything really tremendously dumb. Or at least he'll try to. So...
examples?
Having something that's been a...
elaboration?
Oh, I don't know. What are some of the best horror stories from Mudoku's Digits?
I was going to say, have you seen Mudoku's Digits?
No.
That's pretty much the best example. I'll make sure I send you a link to that.
Is that which was that one of the
That's the
already published games?
Somewhere it's on the Zeldathon charity page on Hurdle.
Oh.
It's one of those we did specifically for an event that we plan on rewriting eventually. It's a dungeon explorer adventure game that is just a wrapper around a Sudoku puzzle, honestly.
That's
fun. Would have Link to the Past was a Sudoku game.
Yeah. Each of the dungeons is one of the big squares in the grid and blah, blah, blah. But
that's fun.
I had
see how that would be very complicated.
A rough concept, and I jumped into it with both feet and did some really tremendously dumb things. And Fuzzy caught me and helped gently steer me back to doing them in a sane and reasonable way.
I see. Just sort of grabbing the steering wheel before you fly off of a cliff.
We wanted the ability to save the game, so you didn't have to play through it all at once, right? But the way I was storing everything as I was working on it meant, since it runs in a web browser, you didn't have space to save the game, because I saved everything wrong.
Oh,
There's a 5 megabyte limit on local storage, which is how you store stuff in browsers. And he was hitting that limit.
We crashed right up against it right out of the gate, because instead of all of the bats having one bat behavior when they updated, they each had their individual, this is what I do because I am a bat. And I stored each of those as opposed to just being like, oh, this is a bat. That's what a bat's supposed to do. Lessons learned.
Optimization fail.
Lessons learned.
We did move a lot of that knowledge forward, into game with horrible boss. There's a lot of mechanics and learning experiences and good patterns of development of, hey, let's set this up like this from the start because we know this works. We have learned, we have been on fire, do not carry matches.
I see. That's a whole world I am barely diving into just with learning a little bit of web design, which is well, time to structure it out, and the first step I took was the wrong one. Do I double down or do I pull everything
The thing
back
about
up?
doing anything on the web is you have to learn to throw the first 7 or 8 away. You will not get it right the first time. Everything done on the web is very iterative. It is throw some stuff in the editor, see what the browser does with it, because it's a very asynchronous development thing. You can't like debug step through the executable because there is none. It is text that the browser is choosing by its own volition in a magic black box to render in some way. You are asking the browser to doing something. You are not telling the CPU to execute these lines of, assembler. It is, hey, can you put a thing here maybe?
And if you're lucky, you get something that looks like your portfolio site, which I am dropping the link to in the chat.
Oh no!
But
it
is an iterative process. So don't just go look at the site. Keep your eyes on this site as you see all the new stuff that gets added to it, as you see all the updates that get made to it. I welcome your feedback. I'm assuming Danny does too. I definitely welcome your feedback because I've been trying to teach as we go along. This is a portfolio site built as part of a set of lessons on web design. And then we get into the JavaScript and all the fun interactivity stuff. Because, you know me, if I'm not teaching someone something, I'm lost. So I appreciate the time we've been spending together on Tuesdays doing this. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I'm surprised because I'm a big fan of like sort of trading like skills and services between like creatives, because that's kind of how it works. Like, listen, I want to do this. I have a limited amount of money, but I know you want this, and I can do that. And so there's just, it's sort of the nature of like, just I think collaborating and I don't know. It kind of reminds me of when I was a kid in school. I was trying to, you're in like middle school trying to survive and then maybe also make friends.
I'll give you my ice cream for that drawing of a tiger. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh, people come to me when I draw a picture, and then if they say, "Can you draw me?" and I say, "Sure," then they like being around me. Interesting. Or like someone will be like, "I'll give you $5 to draw a fox or something." That's not. I wasn't getting commissions that big back then.
I was going to say our commission rates were like compared to professional stuff. Man, we worked for peanuts in school.
I was like, wow, I get money for drawing. I do that for fun. This is like getting paid for free.
Right?
Wrong. It's not how it goes. I've suddenly become.
Oh, don't stress it.
No, I shan't.
Computer cameras are like that. They focus on whatever they find interesting.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't.
Yours doesn't autofocus at all.
Yes, but that's the problem.
Yes.
It is designed to be focused at exactly this monitor to head distance. That's it. It's great for sitting here. It's horrible when I have to hold something up, because even if I go like this, it still keeps the focus there.
Oh yeah, you can't do the like.
Nope. It is a very cheap fixed focus thing. Yeah.
We'll put it on our list. I might have a line item in the budget to get you some better video conferencing equipment. If you
Fix
need
your
a
lighting
camera,
first.
my lighting is
your
just
lighting first?
fine. I'm just glowing and pale.
It looks a little bit like you've got a like a filter over everything. Like
It does. The problem is if I take it down, now I'm just dark.
yeah.
Although I
kinda
guess
like
the less you see of me, the
iridescent.
better.
Can I just
Oh.
replace that other light bulb so some of that light comes forward and bounces into your face and not off the back wall?
Oh,
He's got a
maybe.
burnt out light bulb in his ceiling.
Oh no.
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn, I do. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to fix that then. Good thing I bought light bulbs.
To be fair, I sit in that chair and stare up at his ceiling more than he does.
That's true.
Oh.
He
That's
sits at the
true.
desk. I sit in that chair back there, and I
My
stare at the ceiling
chaise
while we
longue.
talk. And yeah,
I see.
All right, I
forget
will
that
fix the
people can
light.
be in the same location.
Yeah.
this is episode 20. I still have not been over there for a podcast.
That's true.
Oh, wow.
That's true. One day
Mostly
we'll
because
fix
we don't know
that.
how the technical parts would work.
Yeah, if we don't have this stream together, or if we're trying to do it over the same internet connection, I don't know how that would work out.
You
We
share.
could be in the
one
same
screen.
room, Jason.
Oh yeah. One camera, two mics, one computer.
It's like this. Watch. It's amazing technology.
I'm confused because I only have this microphone hooked up. Would you just yell really loud? I mean, I guess I'm used to that, but oh, burn!
I have one of those. Am I using it now? No, but I do have it.
Fair.
The
Fair.
the Yeti.
It's
The
a nice
old-
mic.
Yeah.
The old
yeah.
school, the mini USB.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt to find. I had to find a right angle connector and then an extension cable. And he's like, "Do you mean micro USB?" I'm like, "No, I need a mini. It's for a microphone." The guy's like, "What? Why?" Like, because I don't want XLR. That's why.
Because it's 1,000,000 years old. That's why. Why don't you want XLR? Because you don't have a
Because
mixer.
all-
Never mind. I'm dumb.
Because of all the chain to get it from the microphone into the computer.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. My problem with
Yeah.
USB is I have too many things, and I'm sure they make them, but I do not have. I'd rather have the mixer. I'd rather run everything over, quarter-inch stereo or XLR if
Yeah.
I can into the mixer. Mixer goes out to the thing. Thing occasionally just stops working, and I go into the microphone. And the point is,
I don't think we saved a clip of that.
you know what? I even trimmed it out of the YouTube video. I manually trimmed it out to re-upload for YouTube.
Too big of an L to keep in.
It was bad. It was real bad.
I thought he was about to like drop a beat. It was that one time like and then
It was.
Is that a
why don't we
beat?
have sound effects?
Yeah, why don't I have a soundboard? Oh wait, I know why I don't have a soundboard. Because it would be just like two buttons, one that goes "Mom Spaghetti" and one that's like a reverb fart, and that's it.
Oh, I know very well the reverb farts.
Almost forgot about that one.
Really good.
So now that you've been working on a game a little bit, what do you think of it? I'm not trying to put you on the spot here or anything, but
Hmm?
how
What do
does
you
it
mean by what do I think of it? The project itself, or
Uh,
working on it?
the
and how it
process of
feels?
working on a game with people like us, how does it compare to some of the similar positions you've had in the past, which may not have been like interactive entertainment? Haha.
Well, I spent the better part of a year working on and off with M and a friend of mine, Celeste, trying to sort of pull together a visual novel that near the end kind of went beyond that in a way that it was like scope creep, but it was also a sort of like lack of knowing how to make something too final. I think
That was
it was a
Need a
lot of
Ride,
fun.
wasn't it?
No.
Which one
Need
was
a
that
Ride
one?
was, I believe, a game jam uh, entry with M and
You are here. You are
Ada
here.
and
You are here. That's it, right?
oh yeah,
You are here.
yeah.
I got
Yes.
the two swapped in my head, but the names are
No,
just
no.
similar enough that that's why they bleed together.
Yeah, You Are Here is way back there in the past, but I kept a lot of the sort of like spaces we had worked on it sort of up as like a gallery, and I use a lot of the art still as like examples for how I make sprites and stuff like that. But yeah, it was that was an experience I had being more or less like the director of a sort of game project, which I'm much better at directing like a week-long game jam, which I've done like I think twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, working with you guys with Hergel on Let's Cafe is it's fun because there's a there's I enjoy both like getting like way too invested and having a lot of hats, but I also enjoy having moments where I'm like, okay, I've got the thing that I do that I can do well, and I'll just do that real good, and then people will be like, good job.
Where you
it's,
can, but you don't have to.
yeah, exactly.
For all parts of it, you can, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's fun to stay in your lane, but also get input elsewhere.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. There's definitely there's also I think there's a level of like removal when you're working on something big like a cartoon where so many people are working on it and it's a pipeline that moves forward, whether or not like even if you completely fumble the bag or like you have to like take a 2-week hiatus because family something happened or whatever, like
Yeah.
you get sick, but like it will still happen without you. It'll just be a pain in the ass for people. But when it comes to like smaller things, the results are so much more immediate. Like you can bust your ass for a weekend and then have a lot to show for it like the next few days. So that's what's kind of intoxicating about like games and programming and stuff is like it's so immediate.
It is that right away feedback of I pressed buttons for 20 minutes and now there is a thing that I control. There's a thing that happens and I make it do whatever. I don't know what this is.
Yeah. That's what gets me through like the first like 3 hours of tutorials trying to learn a game engine. It's like, I made my little guy move and now he hit a wall and he didn't go forward.
Yeah.
I can do anything.
Yeah.
And that's Flappy Bird. 10 billion jillion copies because it had the right amount of polish, came out at the right time. You know, it didn't have some super secret sauce. It was just a combination of immediate feedback when you played it, good enough looking graphics, decent, it's little touches on top of the simplest possible engine, and it exploded big enough to destroy a guy's life by giving him too much money, which I have opinions on, but I understand it. I do understand it. But yeah.
I think I've had a lot of thoughts. I feel like recently I had a very in-depth conversation about Flappy Bird and the way that it kind of was a collision of two different eras of games, like the sort of online flash games versus the new world of mobile games before the ad apocalypse happened. Just fascinating.
See, now I need to think more about that. Like, I'm going to come up with my next video essay that I'm never going to finish is going to be about exactly that. I'm stealing your idea. I still never
no!
finished my one about how Roger Waters, I don't like him.
I really like the succinctness of that. How Roger Waters ... I don't like him.
I have such strong opinions on him, and that's that he has an amazing talent that he does terrible things with. And he tried to form a cult of personality, and it worked very well if you excuse the fact that there's one member and it's him.
Wait, who? You said his name was...
Roger Waters. He was in
Right.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just Googled that. I don't know why I was expecting, like, game developer or something. I know...
No, someone else beat me to
musician.
that. Ian Danskin did one on Phil Fish and ... we don't like him.
Oh, yeah. Oh man,
Phil Fish is the guy that wrote Fez.
Oh.
I'll spare you the Googling.
Too late, I already Googled.
And Ian Danskin is Innuendo Studios, who also made the alt-right playbook, if you've seen any of those videos.
Maybe. I'm assuming
Boy, have I
that's
just got links upon links to drop in your DMs tonight.
I like, as much as I preach, like, not, like, being on social media, not watching 4 billion commercials or just, like, shoveling in your mouth, like, garbage media. That actually doesn't apply
No, it's
to
ramen, not media.
YouTube.
Well thought out video essays are definitely worth taking the time to consume.
Yeah, they are. I think what I like about YouTube as opposed to, like, other sort of media platforms is that the people who post there, on the whole, are choosing to do this. Like, I do kind of hit, like, this feeling sometimes when I'm watching someone I really enjoy, but I can tell in their videos and they make a joke about it that, like, they feel locked into their career path and they don't really enjoy what they're doing. Then I'm like, I can't ethically enjoy this anymore. I'm gonna dip.
Yeah.
Um,
There's one singular exception to that I've seen, and it's in an Adam Neely video. He's a jazz and music theory YouTuber, and he made a joke about around Christmas 2 or 3 years ago. He had a release, and he made some joke about how it was the holiday season and everyone was spending time with their families, enjoying it, except for him, because he had to have a new video every day, so the algorithm
every
didn't
day?
eat him.
oh my god.
If you watch people
That's
who
not-
talk about the YouTube algorithm, if you are making a career out of it, you are making a full-time gig out of it. And I do not mean 40 hours a week. I mean, it is what you do. Hard stop. End of story.
Yeah. I think it's... I feel as if the barrier for entry for YouTube and getting any sort of, like, breaking even to have it be a career, like, what is required is so much more than it was. Like, I mean, the fact that YouTube
Yes.
sort of algorithm is a moving target, which no one
Yeah.
is allowed to know about, like, unless you are some sort of cursed arcane individual like Mr. Beast, there's no way to predict, like, what there is. And so it's a lot of...
I saw somebody talking about this recently.
Oh yeah.
Basically, you either have to do almost every single day, or like a very exact repeatable schedule so it knows how to send out, or you can do big video, big long video on you have to be Mark Robert, one video a month, but every one of those has to be a banger. You can't, because it's like your averages, If you put out mediocre crap every day, it's okay, but it stays consistent. If you go one big one and then you have one that doesn't do, this one only did 50 million opposed to 100 million, it's going to penalize you more, But even though you couldn't completely control it because of maybe everybody was just busy that day that came out, or there was world events that was art, you can't control it, but like you had to do it to keep the same schedule.
Yeah.
It has to be this big Mr. Beast monumental Mark Rober production, months in the making to hit that, and there's nothing in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And like it's kind of become one of those things where it almost has to be just a hobby for people to have any fun with it, even if they post a lot. Because like I don't even know, like have there been any recent like new YouTube stars? Because I feel like everyone I'm like watching is either not made it their career or has been sort of a YouTube full-time person for like 2-3 years.
Well, there's whatever the
There
hell
are.
Skibbity Toilet is. Does that count?
That's a series. That's a story. That's different.
The problem is you can be a lot more niche now, just like
Mm.
streaming on Twitch. You can be. I only stream Legend of Zelda. Okay, this is my whole person. This is the only thing I do, and the people who really want to see that will come there because you can go and do that. You can either hit everybody or you can very target it. But again, you can't do in the middle.
Mm.
You can be, I play this game, it is what I do. Or you can be a big monumental thing with a variety thing, but you can never get in any right. Like you have to be changing every day because people that want variety every day will come to you. But as soon as you play that game for a second day, it's like, oh, I don't want to see this again.
I've noticed as well people who try to sort of do a bunch of different things maybe that they're all interested in, but only one of them does well, and then everything swivels to be more of that, which is kind of something I feel is a misfortune, like for that to be what happens. Like I know that I think it's How to Cake It, Ann Reardon's
Oh, yeah.
YouTube channel. She has to frequently do like debunking or what have you, which are like really interesting videos, but it's also like that's not much related to cake.
That's the weird thing is I found her through the debunking videos, and
Of
for
course,
a while
yeah.
I thought that's the only content she made was debunking food stuff. And then she put out cookbook. I'm like, wait a minute. And I looked at it like, oh, she also makes actual cooking stuff. But YouTube never, I only see those pop up when it's the debunking ones. It never, ever offered me. It never offered me any of her cooking videos. But every single debunk video, it recommended.
Yeah.
See, I don't know, man. My whole feed is full of math videos, and I have no idea why. Says the guy who falls asleep to Grant Sanderson of 3 Blue 1 Brown every night.
That's another thing that is so annoying about YouTube is that sometimes I just need information very quickly. Like, or maybe even I'm being bad. I'm being nosy, and I want to just dip my little toes into like a bit of a drama video. Just watch one guy talk about one thing that I just want to understand a little bit, and then
one Shane Dawson video, and the next thing you know,
never again. Oh, no. It's just like you. I mean, it's like the joke, like, oh, this is gonna ruin my front page. And it does. Like you step out of your usual watching lane once, and then for months you're just getting like, hey, do you want to listen to more? Oh, how?
You can fix it. Okay, so on YouTube, let me bring this up. I gotta make sure it's actually on the front page videos too. Is it on that card? Yes. Okay, at least on the front page, there's little dots next to the title, and there's not interested, and also don't recommend channel.
Oh yeah.
If you say
I
not interested, tell it why, because that feeds back into that black box. If not just like I don't want to see this one, they'll like, okay, we don't know. But if there's like a specific, so I don't want to click it on anything because I like all the things that are.
I've already watched the video. I don't like the video.
When that happens,
I understand that
they'll have this. Yeah, YouTube will have this spat where the AI brain, basically. Any recognition algorithm has to be a circular feedback loop, and it hits this point where it breaks and it collapses, and they basically have to like restart it, which is why sometimes you'll get this whole spat of like, I've watched all of these. You're recommending things I've already seen because they had to like restart half of that engine, and it doesn't know that, and it takes a little bit to like get back up to where it is.
I don't think I've thought of that process as something that has to be like maintained.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you'll get information. You'll get it's like recursion collapse or something. It's cascading something, but it like gets stuck in an infinite loop and then just goes, oh, all this data is irrelevant, and it throws it all away. And it's like, no, you just dropped all tables. Oh crap. And they just have to let it rebuild.
Out the name.
We're starting to see that oversaturation, overtraining, redundant training in a lot of AI image generation. I am going to not say AI art. I have used generative adversarial networks to produce images. I have used these tools many times. I would not call it art. But the point is, you have seen the quality skyrocket, plateau, and start to drop. And we're at that start to drop phase where the quality is going back down because it continues to train itself on its own generated images, which had problems in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, getting into graphic design or just being an artist looking up references, it has now become a nightmare. Like I was making just some slides, like a presentation for the nonprofit I'm going to like weekly for like job stuff. And I was just looking up like job interview or people together, and I would have to specifically, like at first I wouldn't realize that it didn't, like I couldn't just say, like I had to go into a little filter menu to pull out AI, but just like I feel like now even when I like Google search like animals, I have to like I'm just like that looks too smooth. Something is wrong here. That looks unusually polished. And you can try to filter out AI, but sometimes they get through the cracks because they're not always reported.
Did you hear about the recent?
It's become horrible, especially when it comes to stock photos for web design, for graphic design. It's like, I don't want this. I want whatever you stole that from. Give me the original to use instead of a much worse like collage of garbage. It's too smooth and weird.
So they're trying to combat that by including in the metadata of images. Adobe just got caught for this, and they broke Instagram, but not Facebook, and it's kind of like it's breaking some things. So Adobe rolled out an update to Creative Cloud that if you use any of their AI features, they will store in the metadata that this image has been touched by AI, which is fine. So when you upload it places that don't, they'll like not on Facebook, but they do on Instagram, which is where the weird controversy comes from. They'll say, hey, this image may have been generated. There's certain markers in there, but they displayed like AI was used. The problem is they did this if you modified the file at all, because there's so many AI things in there. Even if you just open the file, cropped it, just bare bones, just crop and hit save, it flagged it with that AI data. Everything you touched with an Adobe product was flagging it with AI, whether or not you did anything at all. And so Instagram had to change it. We're like, oh, this file may have been edited or altered with some, like they had to like change the description of that tag for now, while Adobe goes back and better fixes like if you actually, not just like if you used it, touched it at all, it has been modified. Therefore, it's been modified by AI. Like they were putting that tag very blanket on things. they're fixing that and putting like if you actually use the generative fill or they remove back like the actual AI parts, it will then better set those tags correctly. But for right now, it's in this limbo state where almost everything that got touched was getting flagged with it and may not get showed to people or based on their settings or whatever. So what people were doing was they'd do their thing, they'd save it, they'd bring it up full screen and take a screenshot, and then they would upload that because the screenshot doesn't have the metadata because it's not touched by Adobe products.
It's such a mess right now. And
but they did that too. So systems that scrape it know not to use those images because those are already the product to not feedback.
It's an arms race.
The things I feel for Adobe, I cannot verbalize for fear of being put on a watch list.
Fuck them. Fuck them straight out. Nobody needs that many yachts. Yes, I realize there is value in services and cloud and updates and all that. And Adobe is communism. On paper, everything they're doing is exactly what we've always wanted. I want to pay a price and have a thing, and I want you to update it with the new features and not like, oh, do I have Photoshop 2021 or 2024? It's like, no, you just have Photoshop, just like you have Chrome. It just is, and it updates. And I realize things cost money. They don't need to cost that much money.
No.
There's profit, and like there's being a sustainable business that's making profit, and then there's the yachts come in a 6-pack.
Yeah. I will admit, if they would quit screwing around for the entire suite, for Photoshop, for Illustrator, for Premiere, for After Effects, for Animator, for InDesign, for Raw, for Lightroom, for Audition, for a suite of 10 pieces of software, I don't need any cloud storage. I don't even want it. Quit showing it to me. Quit trying to put my shit there. I don't want your stock footage. I'll get that somewhere else if I need it. You know, I don't want the image generation AI tools. No, thank you. I have discovered their quality is lacking in a final product. For just the 10 pieces of software as they are, updating regularly, with a reasonable terms of service that doesn't grant you a license to anything I make just because I used your tool to make it. For that, I'd pay $50 a month, more than happily. Absolutely more than happily. But they keep raising the price and shitifying the feature set. And that is tremendously frustrating for me.
And they make it hard to get just one. You could probably use all 10 of those. I just want just Photoshop, or I want Photoshop Lite. I'll pay $10 a month for that. I don't want to buy Creative Cloud.
Yeah.
I'm never going to do anything with After Effects or video at all. There's 4 products in there I have never opened. I don't even know what they do, and I don't want to. I want GIMP, but not to be gimpy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. I get you. That's the other thing. You know what? While I'm yelling incoherently about Adobe, let me yell incoherently about that part too. Is the contract.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't pay monthly for Adobe. You pay monthly installments of your yearly fee, which they will charge you on cancellation.
Yep.
These are like, so this is, I'm sort of formulating a whole life manifesto about the way that companies are being run right now, and the way that the infinite profit model has companies absolutely cannibalizing themselves. Like when like Lime scooters were just dropped everywhere, and it was just sort of well, they're here now, make regulations because we're not getting rid of them. That feels like what they're doing with AI. But the thing is that while the scooters were a pain in the ass and caused a lot of accidents and stuff, they were successful in getting people from one place to another.
Mm-hmm.
It made places uglier, but it's just, they're just scooters. But like, when it comes to AI, that's like, it's just like, my Windows updated one day, and I've got that fucking little guy in the corner being like, do you want to search for something or another AI. I'm like, no, I don't
No.
even want fucking Bing. Get out of here. So like, just this with Adobe especially, they, for one, they are trying to have it all in a lot of different ways. Like their programs are so huge and convoluted and messy and like multi-purpose in a way that it makes it worse. Just everything is worse, and they'll acquire things like Macromedia Flash, and then what happens? You get Adobe Animate, which is just not as good.
And they get rid of Shockwave Director, so I can't make Shockwave files anymore without using a totally legitimate version I found on the internet that's 10 years old now. Which
I have a I have a friend, a family friend, he's about 45 or so. He has an old version of Photoshop, and he knows if he connects the computer that Photoshop program is onto the internet, it's all over. So he literally only uses Photoshop on his like disconnected computer, and then saves the files and brings it to a computer that's actually on Wi-Fi. So he's just like, he's literally got like a time capsule to use a program which already, and the ability, the fact
term
that
is
you
called
can't
air gapping.
you can't just own things that you used to have.
Yeah.
It all.
And
or
then
like
Adobe put out that thing that says, by the way, you can't use those old versions you paid for, like even if you bought like a lifetime version, you now can't use those.
We've revoked the license.
Yeah.
Yeah. $3.5 grand I paid for CS3 before Creative Cloud. And now I cannot install and use CS3 at all. I have disks and a serial number, but I cannot install and use it. Not just am not permitted, but it will activate over the internet. It won't activate if it can't connect to the internet. And if it connects to the internet to activate, it's going to say, nope, these licenses are no longer valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the market share greed. It's you get rid of everyone else or you eat them, and then when you are the standard for something, you cut as many corners as possible, fire as many people as you can get away with, and then jack your prices up as high as possible. Even if you throw away half of your user base, the ones that are staying are whales now. And it's so gross.
The problem is the fact that they're a publicly traded company, and they are the upper management, not the engineers. And I do want to say, I'm not saying fuck you to Adobe engineers. They're very smart people.
No,
and
I feel
if
so
they could,
bad
they
for
would go
people
off and make their own Photoshop with blackjack and hookers. But Adobe Inc., LLSVC PDQ, is financially obligated to try to make more money than it did before. They have to show up and to the right growth. They can't even have horizontal. They have to show growth quarter over quarter. And that is impossible in any industry. The best you could hope for is get up top, plateau, and stay there until the heat death of the universe. That's your hope. But that is not good enough. You have to show up and to the right. And if not, the board is beholden to the stockholder, they demand up and to the right always. That is not possible in software. Look at every company, get the list of every big unicorn, huge. They threw a big party on stock market IPO of some big tech company, Snapchat going, their IPO, ring the bell, blah, blah, blah. I was there. I went to New York for my last company's thing. I stood under that little balcony and looked at them ringing the bell. It's a little display piece on the side of a big room full of computers, by the way. It's real dumb. But look at every one of those companies, and they have to show up and to the right forever. And what happens? Their product? Well, they have to cram full of ads and try to make more money. How can we make more money? Does this make us money? We can't do it.
Yeah.
the minute they go IPO and they're beholden to the public and not just their profit. When you're a private company, yeah, you want profit to make profit. I like money, I like to eat. But as soon as you have to make money for somebody else, you're working for somebody else again.
Yeah. There's like, I think as well, the infinite profit thing is shooting itself in the foot in so many different ways, because just like, with, and I actually don't have to be careful anymore because I've changed my career path, but the way that companies like Disney have decided to play it safe by not making anything new and just regurgitating out things that have made money in the past, shaving off any of the rough edges to the point where the things that they're putting out are indistinguishable from each other, and
Yeah.
like and also this is happening with their parks too, where they are just cashing in on the goodwill that they earned by being better in the past. But the thing is that you can only do that so many times and ruin so many people's experiences and put out so many shit movies that people go, I don't even, what was that? Or like, when I saw Moana, I thought it was all right. And then literally dinner after that movie, I was like, I can't remember it. I'm like forgetting what happened. And they didn't even consider that one to be one of the worst ones. But like,
you're treading dangerous ground there, because I am a Moana stan. So.
Oh. I think.
But I agree with your premise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in Moana, you can kind of see the way that there were things stitched around, like when they go to the gay crab. His underwater
Tamatoa, yeah.
I can't believe you people come here
Tamatoa.
voluntarily.
He had
Thank
such
you.
a fun song, such an interesting character. That was like just a blip in the story.
Yes.
And it's clear that that entire setting was supposed to be an extended
Yeah.
sequence.
Yeah.
And they just cut it all out, but they kept the song. And it like left me like, oh, why aren't we still here? Like, look at the color schemes. This is so cool. And it's just because whatever was going there, maybe the CEO or like the whatever, the guy with the money who makes the decisions, the executives, that's the word, are just like,
Johnny Ive. Wait, wrong company.
It's so cheap. It's things that are good that are made by big studios are not good because of the studios. And in fact, it's sometimes when things are really good, it's miraculous at all. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender, despite all of the fuckery with Nickelodeon that was happening in the airing schedules and stuff, they made something consistently good that has a lasting legacy.
Yes.
And like then you have other things that are just constantly sabotaged because they were too niche or whatever, despite how well received they were.
Like Futurama. The show
Futurama
they cannot
at least got
kill.
Resurrected.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm
Yes,
thinking
but this
more
is
like
what,
how
3-4 times?
it had. What did it have? Like 20 seasons and 5 movies.
Family Guy is still on the air.
So is SpongeBob. SpongeBob came out in 99.
They're still making new Family Guy episodes, though.
Yeah.
No, they made new SpongeBob in the last year or so.
What?
Yeah.
SpongeBob never stopped. Not only did SpongeBob not stop,
they took a break because they all went and did stuff. They're like, hey, let's go make some more SpongeBob and just print some money. Okay.
No, I thought after Hillenburg died, the series stopped.
No. Oh my God, no. Oh, I'm about to ruin your life. No, once he passed, sequels were announced, sequel shows, which he had specifically said he didn't want to exist.
Yeah.
So once he passed, Nickelodeon was like, okay, here's Camp Coral where they're all children and it's 3D. And then here's the Patrick Star series where he wears a shirt and has a family. They Teen Titaned it. Yeah, and not only that, but the writing is not even like they're trying to pull them all together into like a SpongeBob universe, and it's a shit show. I've got very quirky and interesting friends in the SpongeBob fandom, and they tell me all of the hot goss and how dog shit it is. But like it's just like like it's kind of like things that made money in the past can't die, and then things that don't have a like who haven't proven they can make money can't live. And it's also like, why is it that money is the like arbiter of I mean, it always was, but there was the quote that was by one of the let me look it up, one of the Disney guys.
It it can't it always has been, and you know, back in the Renaissance, the age of patrons in the first place,
Yeah.
the one with the gold is going to decide what gets made and what doesn't. But it wasn't made for the sake of more gold. It was made for the sake, I want this and I have money. You can make this. Do you want some money? But it's not being resold. It's late stage capitalism.
Yeah, I found it. I can't believe it. Okay, so this is a quote from Michael Eisner.
Oh.
It
Hold on,
says,
hold on. I'm braced, ready.
He says, we
Eisner's
have,
a fucktard too.
I know. We have no obligation to make history. We have no obligation to make art. We have no obligation to make a statement. To make money is our only objective. And then it kind of follows up with, but to make money, you need those other things. That was. I forgot the good part of that.
Well,
Well, listen, you know,
well, about that.
it's just it's the it's the way that people who are good at making money, you know, the executives or whatever, the way that they think is so antithetical to making money, despite that being their actual jobs.
Yeah.
Like,
They're detached from not real. They're detached from the public.
yeah, oh, absolutely, yes.
They live in a different world of people in suits and car services. Those are not the people that are going to the that are like trying to shave a couple bucks off to go to the movies or buying your DVDs or something. It is they think in an entirely different world of, I don't know, how much do bananas cost? You know,
$10 they do now. They're actually still 50 cents.
No idea.
It's
No idea.
it's it's incredible. And I know people who, I guess I'm privileged and cursed to know people who are in, you know, like sort of the higher end of middle class, maybe lower end of upper class, and even those people who have worked towards the like wages that they earn and the level of wealth that they have a disconnect where like the working poor, which I feel like I'm classified as, which is, you know,
99% of us are.
yeah, exactly, yeah, where like if you stop working, you can't pay rent immediately, and like there's a misunderstanding of where money goes when you don't have any.
Yeah.
Where it's the same sort of mindset of like, well, of course you can get a job, hit the pavement, and you know, call the place, walk in, talk, see if you can talk to the manager. It's like, that's not, you can't even do that.
Yeah, that doesn't
don't
work
do
anymore.
that. They're gonna mark your name off, and it's it's not great. There's a joke that is part of a Chris Fleming special, uh, where he imitates someone who bought a house in like the 70s, which is just I bought a house for 3 raspberries.
Yeah.
Or it's yeah, yeah. Boomers are just, there's the concepts here. I feel like I'm I'm stammering to the choir.
It is. It really is the truth of things. And it's I don't know, man. It's rough. It's rough is what it is. I don't know about you guys. I need a break. I think we're going to take about 5, freshen up our drinks, shake off the angries, come back and find something to laugh about for a few minutes. But make sure you stick around. Do not go anywhere. Watch this advertisement because I, too, need to make enough money to buy 3 raspberries to trade for a house.
Being bad. Watch this.
Stick around. We will be back in about 5. Thank you guys so much. We will see you shortly. Welcome back to the Blue House Bull Session. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Hope you got up, got a stretch, got some water, got some whatever. I went and got 2 beverages and emptied out the other liquid tank, and we're all good. Yeah, we're set. We're made in the shade. All is well. And we're going to move on to some better topics because talking business has made me want to feed myself a lead salad, and that's no good. It's rough, man, but that's why. And I have said this from the beginning, and I'm going to continue to say it. It is going to take a ludicrous amount of money to ever even get me to consider like selling out or going public or selling the business. And I mean ludicrous. I mean, we're
What's your
not
number?
making any money right now. $2 trillion. We're a
if you're being
privately
offered $2
owned.
trillion, you're already on your one of a 6-pack
100.
yachts.
That's what you're doing better than me by about 100. Point is, I'm in it for the passion. I'm assuming you guys are too. It'd be nice to make a little bit of money with it. You know, I'm not going to deny that. This is what I want to do. But I am not an up and to the right all the time guy, and I don't want to be that. I've worked for enough of those businesses. This is my art for some value of the word art.
Oh,
This is all passion projects, and if it ends up making money, fantastic. But I'm doing it because I cannot not do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am compelled to do this.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's another reason why I'm happy to sort of split my personal and like financial creativity into I should say, where like making cartoons was fantastic, but also it was what I loved as well as what I was paid for.
Yeah.
And people always say, "Oh, work a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life." To which I say,
Bullshit.
work a job you love and you never stop working. Ever. And
Yes.
then you stop loving it. And I think like that's just the worst part. Like I enjoy graphic design, and I especially want to use that path to like uplift like local businesses here. Like Durham's like art culture is really awesome. Yes, exactly. Never make a hobby a job,
Yeah.
and never make a hobby a side hustle. I feel so bad when people are like, "Oh, I love to do this. My friend says I should sell them." No,
You
don't
can't.
do it.
You can, and this is the dividing line: is you should work a job that enables you to do what you
Yes.
love.
Yes.
Do what you love. If you happen to make money with it, fine, fantastic, more power to you. If you come to depend on it, it is now a job. It is no longer a hobby.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And if
yeah,
you
you're
can maintain passion with a job, that's great. May not last forever. Did not last forever for me. Didn't even last a decade.
yeah. Well, you see, talking about the game stuff is like, I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. I am driven to do it. I'm hoping to make a few dollars with it to enable me to continue to do it. If it ends up being enough to pay the bills, fan-freaking-tastic. I would love that. I would love to do this full time. But that is because I am aware from having done it for 20 odd years that I can do this full time. And if I am beholden to no one but myself and the people I work with, that is the other deciding factor. Because I'm going to make shit like Sudoku games wrapped in Zelda. I'm going to make shit like the cafe game. I'm going to make shit like the alchemy factory thing that we were kind of working on. I'm going to make the stuff I want to exist, and I would rather have money come in a little for that and keep a day job than do full-time making Call of Band of Duty Brothers Because fuck that.
27.
I'm not gonna go
Call
work.
Abandoned Duty Brothers.
I'm not gonna
Was
go
that an
work at
Epic
some
game?
studio. Yeah, of course. It's the annual, and they have a zombie mode where you shoot zombie Nazis, pepperoni Nazi
yeah.
zombies, zombie Nazi ninja pirate cowboy clowns. I don't know. What's
Ninja,
the mean thing? Piss covered skeletons. Yeah, that one.
What?
What do the
I've
kids
just
like
mimed.
nowadays?
Do you want to
Memes,
eat?
communism, skeletons, piss covered. I've quoted that meme on here before. Where's it? Skeletons covered in piss.
I really hope nothing shows up for you.
What do teens like? Is it memes? Memes about skeletons, piss, communism? This post is 20 times funnier if you imagine a CEO shouting it at his board of directors. There are links in the chat. Go look at it yourself. This is the thing. And I did still manage to screw it up, but yes, this is my CEO yelling at his board of directors. Yes, this is what that is.
I mean, I think another thing that's fun about making stuff for yourself, that like making something for yourself that you're compelled to make, that just immediately attracts people on the same wavelength as you to that thing. When you start creating for money or for a specific audience that you aren't even really invested in, you just feel like that's the market, then there's like a lack of authenticity that essentially subtracts like worth and substance, I think, from whatever you're doing. So yeah, I think in so many ways, like even on a small scale, if you know, you just have to be insane with it. You have to be compelled.
You really do. And being driven to do something like this, it makes it more palatable to do. It absolutely does. And what you make is going to be closer to your original vision than if you were just making a thing from an idea as opposed to your idea. And that's something where, God forgive me, I'm going to get real personal here. I worry that you and I, for both of you on the call, butt heads on a lot of this when I have a vision I don't articulate until it's too late.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So I apologize for every time I have said, no, that's not it to one of you guys.
Well, okay. So the cafe game is the perfect example where you're just saying of doing something for your dream versus for money. The whole fact that the aim of this was to eventually put it on Steam versus I'm going to throw some stuff together and throw it on the website and people will play it for a little while and have fun. Trying to turn this into a actual polished, complete product that you can sell means there's a whole lot of other steps in polish and refinement and actually getting good art, and getting good sound. But opposed to I grabbed some sprite art of some animals or AI generated them and pixelated them and stuck them in there versus I want actual good art.
Yeah.
Or I need some actual good sound and not I'm going to mash some stuff once, save it, and then never touch it again. Or actually getting feedback versus I made this game and you can play it versus, hey, I like people's opinions and feedback and actually this is already like exponentially more work. And then that's just to make the game. Then there's all the layers of the business infrastructure, getting it on Steam, all the 8 million forms you have to fill out and check and box and thing to put anything on Steam, getting set up on Steam before getting all the stuff to get there versus I made a thing, I compiled the HTML and I stuck it on my web host.
By the way, that reminds me, I have to look at something real quick.
But all of that to make what was I want to drag some ingredients that I saw in one of my asset packs. That looks funny. It'd be great if I could just like make a sandwich or a tea by putting them in a grid and hit sell to person. and I crept that out. You know, I have an idea versus I need to make an entire infrastructure to make this game happen.
Now, the simultaneously fortunate and unfortunate, depending on how you choose to look at it, thing about this is I've discovered that some of this process, while it is a tremendous pain in the ass, I really enjoy.
Yeah.
This is a lot cooler than I anticipated.
But if you were just trying to, I have an idea, I'm going to make this game and put it out there, it would have been done and posted months ago.
Yes, but it wouldn't be anywhere near what it is already and what's to come still. I can see that.
That's the whole, that even ties back with the, oh, you like making that thing, you should sell it. It's like, no, if I have to sell it, I have to make them actually not be as, I actually have to finish them. I can't get them 90% like, oh, it's done enough and stop. You have to actually finish it, actually seal all the pieces. Actually, now you have to find packaging. You have to take photographs. You have to figure out how to package this and ship it. And then I have to like go create like stamps.com accounts to do shipping or whatever, and then do this and go set up Etsy reseller
it's the
bubble,
it
whatever.
It's the Etsy shop for the goddamn candles.
It's I want to make a thing, and then you invisibly as a consumer never realize all the layers it takes to get that to a place where you could pay money to get it there.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does. Like, I don't mind making the candles. I kind of like making the candles. I miss making the candles. Going to craft shows occasionally. That's kind of fun. But to turn it into a business, I have to run the Etsy too, and that's all the photography and writing the horseshit descriptions and going to the post office and paying the entirety of my profits in shipping because I'm not willing to charge more money because I actually want to sell a few of the damn things. It's so frustrating in that sense. That part infuriates me. By the way, the candle store will be back up and running in short order. I am moving back to Etsy despite my objections just because it is the most painless of all the ways I have to do that stuff online. Although I'm not going to pretend I like it at all. Least bad does not mean good.
Yeah. I feel like I find that my like anti-capitalist leanings also immediately kneecap my like I feel like not thinking about profit or the end game at all makes really good art, but it also makes unsellable art, which I think makes it cooler, thus worth more money. But that's
no,
not.
I feel that. I get that 100%.
Yeah, but like, there's like, it's interesting how art. Oh, we're still talking about art and money. Oh no!
There's a trade-off. Any good artist is going to struggle or at least be mediocre with the business side of things. They're going to struggle. It's going to be a big chore for them to like, look, I just want to pick up my paints and I want to draw something or I want to code something. I don't want to have to like go get an LLC number or something. They're going to struggle to do shipping because they're so introverted. That's why they sit at home and do art. They don't want to go out to the post office.
You only get so many skill points to allocate to, yeah.
Right. But the problem is then you've got other people that are like, oh, I want to make art to sell. I know how to set up a business. I can do all that stuff. And I guess I can crank out some art and try to just literally shit out some art to sell online or whatever, which is where you get all these AI like, oh, look, I 3D printed the exact same snake axolotl figure that everybody else at the craft show also printed and sell it because they're good at being business people. Yeah.
This is
But here's the thing:
It'd be
the
funny.
people that know I'm gonna go make a bunch of those, and I go get that table, and I'm gonna put that there, and I know how to price those the right way to get them just under other people and sell those, are not the people who made that model.
Yeah.
You can't be both. There is no balance on that. You are one side. That scale will not perfectly balance,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
why like any good, you need a partnership. You
Yeah.
need you need you and your partner, your SO or multiple SOs. I'm not judging anybody, but like, but you cannot do things. You cannot do anything that involves money alone. You can be the creative or you can be the business, but if you try to do both, you will suffer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You need somebody that
Absolutely.
understands it. They have some concept of what you're doing, but they don't have to do it. But all they have to do is like, that's nice, dear. Make your little pictures. I'll put them online and sell them for you.
Yes, yeah. That's the thing that my wife and my husband are doing essentially. They run an Etsy together called Stellar Neighborhood, and my wife sells her like paintings and prints there, but the majority of the business is through my husband Brian. He does jewelry, so he's making lots of like little bracelets, like '90s lizard earrings, stuff like that, and he's very allergic to like posting online in any sort of public way, and so Shelby is the one who's peddling like, look at these, look at this, it's
Yeah.
up, here's the orders. And Brian is simply the guy in his beautiful cave making jewelry, and that's like, it's a very, it's something that I definitely fall on the side of like, I can't monetize things. I hate taking commissions, like,
Yeah.
just saying on my blog like, "Hey, I'm drawing pictures for people. Pay me something." I hate it because it makes my art worse. Like the
It's not your art anymore.
well, it's more that I know
You're not
that
making
a
art that
person
you happen to
has
sell.
specifically asked me to draw a thing, and so I'm thinking, okay, well, they paid me money, I have to make this look really good. But and this has happened since I was literally like 18. When that like thing is switched in my mind, my drawing gets much worse. Like it
Yep.
just looks like shit. I think too much about it and it gets really stiff and ugly. And I remember struggling a lot with a commission once, and I sent it to the commissioner like, here you go. And they're like, oh, great, thanks. I was like, they hate it. I know they do.
As as someone who has paid you folding money for art, however, I do not see that.
That is not the same.
That's different. Yeah, that is
I
very
am
different.
participating in a project. I'm talking the one-off commissions post on Tumblr style. Email me.
Draw my wolf Sona in armor, but make
Yeah.
sure you can still see his feet. That kind of shit. Yeah.
Don't put his shoes on.
Oh my lord, I think I've killed him. Speaking of which, we are going to talk about Let's Cafe for a minute.
Yes, yes.
One of the things that we've been working on and introducing is we have NPC storylines. In addition to just running the cafe, you get to know some of the people in the neighborhood. You have been privy to a lot of the character drafts. Who's your favorite character? Who do you like best right now? Feel free to
Who are you
spoil them
asking?
even if they're not anybody. All of y'all.
I had a really interesting sort of back and forth with M about a sort of pair of characters that they were workshopping.
Ooh.
And
Ooh, I don't know if I know about this one yet. I could be learning something cool.
I'm not entirely sure if it's if it's been written or if they're the like two that might be left for another phase, but it's sort of a subversion / lampshading of the like business person parent, and then the like alternative kid.
Yeah. Okay.
And
yeah. Okay.
yeah, and the idea, usually it's like, oh well, the kid is like a goth girl or something, and it's the business dad, and it always, it's like put down the darn phone or whatever. And Em and I were both talking about how those tropes are like really tired, and so we work together on something I think is really cool, and it's kind of the storyline will, however Em ends up condensing it. They're number 11 on the list if there's time. Yay, good. Hopefully
From the sound of it, we'll make time for this one.
I really liked it because it's sort of like the idea is having the parent who's like disconnected and views everything in like a sort of corporate businessy, like put on my work tie, that sort of thing.
I put on my robe and wizard hat.
You know, they take a moment to like actually try to see from their kids' point of view and like decorporatize their personal life and like sort of remove the like job colored glasses, instead of it being like, you know, learning to toss the pigskin around more often. It's more like, oh, I realize my interactions with the world have been very transactional, and like the for the child, it would be more like they can trust that their parent is actually trying instead of like totally giving up. Like, yeah, they're in boomerland, you know, it's not going to happen. So it's sort of that's just something I thought was not seen somehow. Like there's so many, like,
Yeah.
you know, business dad goth girl or whatever. I pitched that it was a boss mom, like a boss babe mom, and
Gaslight,
like
gatekeep, girl boss, that kind of thing.
yes,
A real
definitely.
hun.
No. I need to finesse these. Yeah, it's a very like I remember like pitching that, having this really long conversation, and then I was like, ... Good luck figuring out how to put that in in the context of ordering some like some ranch chicken or coffee.
Which animal's going to be our Karen?
Oh, I pitched giraffes.
Oh, that's too perfect. They're all neck too.
Yeah.
I can just see like the giraffe
like,
with the bob.
A sulky kid just having like really stooped posture.
When they come in, though, do they come in and their head's way up here, or is their head like at the counter? Like, do they come in and you just? It's like all neck.
I did like the sort of smaller giraffe, but then I was also like, what if their neck was twice as long? And I did send that file. I think I can. I don't know if I don't know when I sent it.
You sent me a preview, but you didn't actually send me just a sprite by itself. So we may have to we may have to talk about that.
Yeah, I'll dig them up because I quite liked them.
What if Link was 1.5 sprites tall and not 2?
Exactly. How about you, Fuzzy? From the character drafts you've seen or from whatever you've run into while you play, who's your favorite?
Love more.
I cannot argue. I just the workaholic with the cold, like, slow down, honey. Like, it's gonna be okay. Yeah. Have some soup. Take care of yourself. I feel like that one resonates a lot with your story personally too. I don't mean to call you out, but I'm calling you out. I've seen you work yourself sick before.
Burnout's real, people. I worked at 120% for 11 years, got fired, and it's been a year, and I still can't get my head on straight to go get a real job.
That's okay. We're gonna make $1 zillion with this, and then we'll just keep doing this at a nice leisurely pace.
Oh, not the $1 million. A small game worth $1 million.
just enough to keep us all comfortable working on stuff. That's all I'm asking.
Flappy Cafe.
Flappy Cafe.
Flappy Cafe. I don't know. That kind of sounds like it would be a like 18+ game. Maybe I'm just something about it.
What?
I caught that.
There's a
I'm with you.
perversion
I'm
in the
with you.
name.
I'm with
Oh,
you.
oh.
Okay, now
Okay, no,
welcome to
no,
the party,
no,
Fuzzy. Whoops.
Okay. Okay. We can't do this because of a lot of weird regulatory things and the way games are categorized and flags and safe for children and stuff. But I had pitched to Jason, like, based
We have the core of this. I'll let him catch back up. But we have the core of the engine for a bartending game now.
is an asset pack. Yeah. And I think you okay there?
I'm back.
Okay. But I was like, what if there was a night shift? The sun went down, you ended the day, and then you started your night shift and it opened up and it was you were a bartender.
And it's just like a tiki bar.
Yeah. And just load a different set of ingredients and recipes, and now you're bartending for the night shift. And like the tips are higher. There's a smaller menu because you're just making drinks and like some bar food. It's like, oh, I want fries. You're like, French fries, ketchup, go. You know, it's like quick bar food, but like more heavier on the drink side. But they're like drinks. And he's like, yes, but we can't do that because then it'd be flagged as having alcohol, and it like kicks you out of whole sections and stuff. It's like,
Just
oh
make
my
a
God.
sequel game.
Now, see,
Tails
there's our idea is, hey, Jacob, I know you're here. Go file the paperwork so we can start working on Tiki Tender.
Oh no, that's so kitschy.
Do you want to work on a Tiki bar game with us?
I would prefer like a gay nightclub or something.
Yes, 1,000,000%. And the masks.
Same characters' drawings. They're just wearing like spiky bondage gear.
And also flowers in their hair.
Or I just use the pixel art to draw black bars.
Look.
All right, M's in. We're doing it. Tiki Tender's going to happen.
Look.
Yes, we'll finish this one and then.
Words have power. And I can grunt noises and put images in your head. Love more in a gimp mask. And now you're picturing it.
You know, unfortunately, you are correct. I don't like you
pixel
anymore.
Art doesn't do any service for that. It should be an illustration. I don't have time to do that.
Yes, let's finish this game, and then let's do Tiki Tender. Because we're 3/4 of the way there. I'm into it.
On a more serious note, we were talking about like what we want to do for mobile, what all we would have to scrunch around and reformat and stuff to get this cafe core on mobile, and we were thinking of doing either originally like a food truck type thing, so there'd be a lot smaller menu and a lot less items to deal with and stuff like that. And same, they walk up, but you could have a more narrower window, it works better. And then we're thinking like maybe just like a lemonade stand, but like all you make is lemonade, but it gets better and better and better, more complicated, more ingredients, like lemonade, and then pink lemonade, and then strawberry lemonade, and then pomegranate lemonade, and like just like you keep unlocking more and more additional ingredients to mix into your lemonades. But the core of it is you are a lemonade stand, and rectangle, just really easy to grab, like 2 ingredients to like 10, and it scales up, and you're just like boom 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 boom, like fast paced.
I just imagined like with all of the lemonades being some shade of pink, just make it like really inaccessible to colorblind people, and have it be like you have to guess which shade of pink is strawberry, and then click that one. That's just
read a thing. I am totally going to derail this based on that last and throw us into a tangent. I read a thing that I'd never thought about before, and I try very hard to be colorblind aware. I have several friends that have differing types of color blindness, and I try very hard to make sure that I am attentive to that. Also, welcome everybody. I read something about people who have red-green color blindness, protanopia, right? That's protanopia. And apples. And their assumption being that you ate an apple when you wanted a crapshoot. You didn't know if it was going to be really tart or overly sweet because they're the same shade of apple color. If you can't tell between red and green apples, that's something I'd never considered for Protanopia, is you can't tell a red apple from a green apple very easily. They're apple colored. And you take a bite and discover what kind it is.
Oh, peppers and peppers too. I never thought about that.
Are
Yeah.
green and red peppers even different in taste? I'm not really a pepper guy.
Kind of. It's a different. No, they're fundamentally the same pepper, but they're at different stages of the life cycle.
Ah.
The red ones are a
like-
little sweeter because they're more ripe. They go from green, which is very lightly bitter and very lightly peppery, to red, which is sweeter and a little peppery, all the way up to purple when they're bad because they're too sweet and not peppery and just slimy.
Oh, okay.
It's like bananas. There's eating bananas and then there's cooking bananas.
Yeah, I like blueberries.
And if you wait
Just
long
like-
enough, they're
it's
drinking
just
bananas. You
barely
just
not
jam a straw
like-
through the skin. Oh, they both made the face. I did
Oh.
so good. I'm so proud of myself for that one. Like it's a Capri
like
Sun.
soft
just-
bananas, like even like when they're just overly sweet and good for most people, if I like open it, it has that ripe banana smell. I'm like, ugh. It automatically makes me grossed out.
I love all
My
kinds of
have to be
bananas.
sour green.
I get that. I 100% get that. And my appreciation for like underripe bananas has only grown over time. You know, I'm a huge junk food junkie. I'm into sugar, but bananas, like, I love them when they're sweet. I like them even more when they're just starting to get sweet. When they're green, when they've got texture to them. Oh, man. Man, I like bananas and peppers. I don't like bananas and peppers, but I do like banana peppers. How did I get here again? We were talking about a hippo in a gimp mask, and the next thing I know, we're talking about apples.
It was the color
It was the color
Colorblind.
blindness. It was the color blindness.
which is
and the
like
lemonade.
completely not a bridge between those two things.
Well, we actually have that. We have somewhat of that. Not quite. Colorblind also, but on Can Do, we have some of that same problem. Is like one of the cans of something. It's two different things, but it's only different by the shape is the same, but it's colored different. And somebody's like, "Oh, I didn't realize they were the different things."
So I went back and I changed, and now they're very similar, but you can absolutely tell they are distinct things.
Yeah.
You can flip one of them upside down.
I think one of them has like one of the bags of flour has a chef on the left,
well, you
and
can't
one
flip
has a chef on the right.
I was just imagining like a ketchup bottle. I was like, we'll flip it upside down for mustard. Duh.
I think that's what I did for relish and ranch. Oh man,
Lies.
the ranch.
Yeah. No, it was relish you flipped upside down because I brought up like it just looks like green ketchup.
And it's not a thing anymore. They took it off the market. The green and the purple ketchup. Grrr.
Yeah,
I
but
miss
that
my
was
purple
just
ketchup.
Disgusting.
There's some black ketchup
Not
in the
you,
basement.
just- it was gross,
Not
like
anymore,
the,
there's
the
not.
Shrek ketchup.
We got rid of the black
Shrek
ketchup. The sentient
Black?
ketchup was evicted.
Oh.
Huh? Huh?
Yeah, did you know if you just let a bottle of ketchup sit in a dark place for like 20 years, it turns black?
Not even 20. It's like I have like 5 or 6. It just keeps getting darker. It's an
How
acid thing
Did you find this out?
because there was a 22-year-old bottle of ketchup in the basement.
Whose basement?
My basement.
Jay's. There were some shelves where pantry food used to live.
Look,
and
I've
then
been
pantry food didn't
attempting
live there.
I've been attempting to clean my house for 56 of the 40 some years I've been alive. I'm including the effort and years of other people I have roped into it, and we are not doing well. It has been a struggle. But yes, we found a bottle of ketchup that had turned jet black from age.
Oh. when I was moving my apartment from Burbank to move in with my wife's grandma for a bit when we moved here to Durham, we realized that at one point I had used about half a can of Spam, probably to make Spam and rice, and then I put it in a plastic bag,
Oh
and
no.
that was there for years. But what happened was when we picked it out, it was perfectly shrink wrapped because whatever was living inside took all of the oxygen away and it was airtight. So I think they just suffocated. I was too scared to look any further and I just threw it away. But that was actually really cool in a terrifying way. It's like, oh,
It
the
is
Spam
neat.
which was alive.
It is neat. I cannot deny that. It's terrifying, but it is neat.
Yeah, it's just
I like
something that should
Spam.
be as far away from you and your orifices as possible and hopefully contained.
Don't put it in your eyes. I gotcha. Understood.
No good. No good.
Just
Jin sick emoji.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love I was recently cleaning out my wife's grandma her fridge and I, I was like, do you want me to throw away this sourdough starter? She was like, what sourdough starter? It's like, I'm throwing it away now. Don't worry about it. It's gone.
Yeah.
Skip
oh, you
over
mean
pink,
my
I go
pudding?
straight to no. Oh.
Not anymore, it ain't.
No.
It was
This is
coconut.
just-
It ain't now. Now it's
I have thrown
furry.
food containers away, like nice glass Tupperware ones. Like I know you could like Tupperware, it's glass. You can easily scrape it out, bleach it a little bit, and it's fine. Like nothing's gonna leach into it. It's glass. And I've looked at it. I'm like, I'm not gonna open that. I am just gonna put that right in the garbage. And my partner
Yeah.
was like, No, you gotta clean it. Like that's expensive. Like I don't care how much it cost. We're not opening that and letting spores come out. We are throwing that away. I will buy
Yeah.
you a whole new set of those. And then we will have 7 instead of 3. We're not keeping that.
Our safety is worth the money to me. I would much
Yeah.
rather we
There's
not
also
die
the
of
level of like, would I pay to not do this?
Yeah.
That's that. If you make enough money to be asking yourself that question, God bless you.
Thing is, depending on what it is, that level changes a lot. And
Yeah.
there are a lot of situations where I say, yes, it's worth the money not to do this myself. Because it's not just going to take me 15 minutes to do it, even if it's a 15-minute job. It's going to take me 4 hours to do it because my time happens in 4-hour blocks. I have that thing where the daily event hasn't happened yet. Okay, I am waiting for the daily event to happen.
Oh yeah.
In that mindset, there are a lot of things that are worth the money.
Yeah. I operate typically on a level which I have days where I feel like I'm always either I'm doing fucking everything except for the thing that I really need to get through everything to do, or I'm somehow not able to do anything despite feeling very busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have like the level of ADHD where I have to make lists. And not only do I have to make lists, I have to have my ADHD medication. I have to be caffeinated. And I have to have something I can write or record my thoughts down on immediately. If I am doing a task, if I am like doing the dishes and I turn around and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta swap the laundry over. And then I turn back around to do the dishes, I've forgotten the laundry.
Yeah.
Like
Laundry doesn't exist. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
I have to put things in my own way when I'm running around and doing chores so that I'm like, oh, there's the garbage like can for the bathroom literally in the middle of the floor. I forgot to put it back. So
100%.
it's there's
I'll-
there's like a level of working with yourself that you have to do. I think the productivity culture idea that you have to suddenly have a level of discipline which you have never once achieved before and just maintain it forever, that's not going to happen. Just accept that you're weird and work around yourself.
Yeah. It's whatever mechanics you need to use to get yourself in a position where you can do the things that need to be done. Or make sure they get done. Let me clarify that, because this ties right back into how much money is it worth to you. If you can make sure that the things that you need done get done, first of all, you don't have to do them. If you can find a way around that, you don't have to do them. If you cannot find a way to work around that, you may be stuck doing them, but find out if you can. There are a ton of examples of things, not that I just foist off on other people. I'll trade. I'll do a job for them that they hate. They do a job for me that I hate. And then the things that I need done get done, and I can do the things that I can stand doing.
Yeah, that's like my partner Brian. We are both trans and we both take testosterone, and he would often like go weeks without doing it because he does intramuscular shots and he just kind of doesn't like doing it to himself, and he'll like get, you know how people get like sleep dread, he'll get like shot dread and he'll like put it off a week and then the next week and then and I'm just like, well, I'll just do your shot for you when I do my shots. It takes me no effort, and it's the same as like yeah, literally like come get your man juice. It's just, it's what, especially if you like live closely with roommates, partners, or whatever, or if you are around or have people with like mix and match brain issues, chronic illnesses, things like that. It's like, it costs me nothing. It takes me 30 minutes to clean the kitchen to a pretty good standard. It takes Brian 4 hours because he gets surgical with it, even though my level of cleanliness is acceptable to him. Like, it's just that kind of thing. Like, it takes me about 3 hours and 2 breakdowns to do paperwork. My wife can do it in like 15 minutes and she's fine. It's just the way that things happen like that. It's just like, okay, well, I'm never doing that again. You are going to do that forever.
Yep. No, absolutely.
There's also like being able to do it on your own if you have to.
There's a lot of things I can and won't. There are a lot of things that I can and won't. And it really is a balance of finding people that will and trading your I will for you will.
Mm-hmm. Or even just like, it kind of, even if it's not a trade or it doesn't feel like a trade to you.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a transactional. It doesn't have to be a one-for-one. It's all part of taking care of people in general. And you take care of the people you care about. That's what caring about someone is you do what you can to take care of. This is much better than the capitalism shit from the first half. I like this.
We brought it around.
Call me a dirty leftist if you must, but this is what I want. I want a society of people who enjoy each other's company, taking care of each other.
I was recently like just trying to find like a political alignment list or whatever, because you've got the like, oh, what are your whatever, take a quiz, and of course I take it, it says like far left, yes of course, but I'm like, well, what's the word for it, what is this? And I was like idly talking about it with my partners, and then like 2 hours later I'm just like, guys, I think I'm like an anarchist or something. That was like the beginning and end of the conversation. You're like, all right, Danny, anyway.
Yeah, I'm a communist. I'm a socialist.
Oh yeah.
If you need to assign a label to it, go ahead and use one of the dirty words. Yeah. I'm one of those horrible people that thinks people ought to take care of each other.
Well, I feel like what's worse than saying communist or anarchist or socialist is like anarcho-communist. It's like, Oh, that's awful already. It's
No,
just
no.
the haven't you read Karl Marx? Just level of it.
Have
But
you
no,
read
it's
the
I mean,
Bible?
like, you don't
It's
have
just
to
as
have a
insane.
label to have like a code of conduct and morals to follow to help your fellow man and mutual aid and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take this all back to Hergel and say that's why I structured it the way I did. The goal was it was going to be, it's a farmer's co-op, and what we farm is video games.
Wait a minute, farming video games? There's an idea.
Dear
This
Lord, you're going
hasn't
to
been
kill
done,
me.
have
Oh
they?
no! Oh no! Oh,
Hold
no.
on. I gotta set my alarm because I gotta be up in 4 hours to water my Sudoku crops.
Now hang on a minute. You might be onto something here.
Write it down and put it away.
One of the things that I
Farm
purchased
to
in one of my
table
asset
Wi-Fi.
buying sprees is a farming game starter kit.
Yep.
You know,
What, like
No!
first rights?
no,
No!
it's
One game at a time.
it's the bulk of an engine in Unity, and I don't want to use Unity if I can avoid it. But it's the bulk of an engine in Unity. What if you picked the numbers? What if the crops you planted were not carrots and peas, but 4s and 7s?
What?
You said farming Sudoku.
You're on to something.
My lord, I've chased him all the way away. He's
Time to hit the
done.
dusty trail. Let's go. No, it's hot upstairs.
All right. I will not make another Sudoku game this year.
Blockchain connected farming. We gotta cut it off now.
Artisanally grown NFTs.
There's nothing
I'm-
artisanal about that.
I mean, that's basically what they are. Every NFT is artisanally crafted by somebody's CPU. That's the entire point.
Not like the Mushroom Cave has non-fungusable tokens.
You're fired. Show's over. I'm entering my car and approaching your location at a rapid speed to unplug and light on fire your computer.
I've got a.
It's already
I've
on
got a
fire.
really quick
I'm running a
bad game
podcast.
pitch.
What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Where's my
Oh.
notebook?
Okay,
You're
it's called
recording it. Watch it later.
Oh yeah.
I'm calling it Scumbag Speedrunner, where basically you play as a person trying to make the most money in the least amount of time and least amount of effort possible. So it's like you can start a scheme of like reposting memes on social media and then go to like NFTs or Kickstarters you never intend to finish.
Martin Shkreli simulator.
If I knew who that was, I'm sure that would be very funny.
Oh no. What's the chick with the thing? She just had a movie. blood
Elizabeth Holmes. Theranos.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Theranos. I have watched a podcast.
Go watch
I've
the
watched
movie.
like 2 podcasts about her.
Fi-
Haven't seen the movie.
Find the movie somewhere. Watch it.
Watching video clips of her is so scary. You know those like greeting cards that used to have like the gross Photoshop big eyes and smiles on kitties and stuff?
Yeah.
That she looks like she's exaggerated features in Photoshop. Just the like people with blue eyes be like, she's so creepy. She's creepy.
She got that Zuckerberg vibe. That
She
not properly costumed lizard person. Yeah.
no.
Wait, is that Zuckerberg with or without
Not
the
the
the,
lizard
the chain and the mustache?
Oh no.
It's just it's
Mm-mm.
they're so. I mean, if you're skeezy enough to do stuff like that, you're just gonna be so skeezy and slippery you can keep it going forever. You know?
Yeah.
Like when you've got a person like that, that slimy, that good at shifting gears, even if you grab a hold of them, they will molt and get away. You know.
Hunt the Wumpus. Subvert those expectations. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, we may have an idea there. We may have a winner. Hmm. I don't
Phone
know, man.
scam emulator.
One game at a time. I lie when I say that, but I'm going to say it anyway. One game at a time. I'm actually working on.
Let's just get Cafe Live.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. By the way, if you are not in the Hergel Discord and want to keep up on the news there, please join the Hergel Discord, because sometime this week the page itself should go live, so you should be able to add it to your Steam wish list. The game will be here as soon as the game's here. We have a target date in mind.
It will be in early access for a little while also. Because
yes.
It'll be done enough to get out there for the crazy people that want to give us money early until it's completely done. But finished completely done is going to be a little while off because we want to get all the story stuff in. But it's done enough to potentially take your money.
In any case, we're going to tell everyone, go put it on your wish list. Even if you don't buy it now, go put it on your wish list. Go tell everybody that you want this game. See if they want it too. This isn't some sort of sinister plot or anything.
Equals worth something or another capitalism.
Yes.
Sorry for invoking the name.
All you're doing when you buy our game is helping us make the next one. Remember that.
Except for me, I am funding horrible scams and paying for it. I'm kidding. I couldn't even think. I was like, paying for AI what? I'm paying for it. No. But if I can have a final thought here, it's everybody check out Affinity instead of Adobe.
Yeah.
And if you use After Effects, look into Blender. I'm also investigating that. Apparently, it's an extremely good video creating and editing software. Like, you can put sound into it and do like entire 2D, 3D animations, like cuts.
Blender is...
I don't know how they do it.
The thing is, Blender is like 8 excellent pieces of software that are kind of duct taped together.
Yeah. I foresee a future where Blender ends up being like, I almost said Blender and Grinder. Hold on, wait a second. I just mean like you can split it off into more than just the modeling in this.
Yeah.
At a certain point, it does become less lightweight, but it's incredibly multifaceted.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It really is. Yeah, go look at Affinity. Affinity's doing the free trial stuff too.
Yes, for 6 months, which is crazy because I had my week trial and then I absolutely bought all 3 and I've been loving them. I actually used Affinity Photo for photo editing and I was like, this is slick. Damn.
I think it might actually be time for me to look into converting. I should find out how long I have left on my goddamn contract.
Oh no!
But yeah, I think it may be time to switch.
You go Google for it. Somebody made a calculator. You put in when your contract runs out, and they tell you the optimal time if it's worth canceling now versus canceling after. Like, if you want to get out of it, like wait till like this many months of your thing, because like, yeah,
that is so skeezy, scummy, disgusting.
Yeah,
I would cancel my card and never give them my new information. That's what I would do. Is that legal?
They can go after you. No, because you've agreed to pay that. You're paying installments on the thing. You're not paying a monthly service. You're paying installments. It's like buying a car.
Yeah. But it may be time to start the process of switching. They've made it into a process.
After a year, you can cancel it any month. Yeah.
Blender does have a steep learning curve. I do understand that. I will say that. But it is worth the time invested, especially for the price. And there is not something you would want to do that it won't do. It might be trickier, but there is nothing you would want to do that it won't do in that sense.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
number one
worth
advice.
the price is you don't pay anything.
Right.
And the price you pay is the time it takes for you to get a handle on it.
Yeah.
And if you're like me and really enjoy learning new things, like new software, especially figuring out eccentricities and how to figure out keybinds and stuff, it's fun. Of course, I also learn new programs, get good at them, and then put them down for 6 months and forget everything.
Yeah, it sounds pretty familiar. The big thing to remember about Blender is one hand on the keyboard, one hand on the mouse. It's the only way to navigate and use that program. One hand on the keyboard, one hand on the mouse. If you remember that at all times, everything gets exponentially easier.
Hands at 10 and 2.
Exactly.
Always put on your turn signal when you use Blender.
You know, there's somebody out there that's gonna be like that uses Blender like on a car racing sim, using the wheel as like a jog, and their shifter is like up and down in menus and stuff, and their foot pedals moves like the XY. Like, you know, somebody can do it.
And they're creating the tightest like meshes possible.
Yep.
You don't even understand how.
Yep. All right. I think we're gonna have it be because I can't talk anymore. We're gonna wrap it up. But I want to thank you all for joining me. Thank you very much for Danny for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Come back anytime. We do this every Wednesday. And for you guys out there, we do this every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Come join the Blue House Bull session. Hear what's going on with Hergel. Hear us yell about food. Hear piss skeleton communism. I don't know. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys being here. Thank you so much. Who are we going to send ourselves over to? Who's hanging out? Who's doing what? Who's online? Who's live? Let's see. Beep bop boo. What do we got? Anybody?
Goodbye, all.
Jason's live. That's it.
Ooh, Fuzzy's live. I could go see him.
I'm not.
Oh, you
I should
were.
be.
You were
was.
for a minute.
OBS kept crashing, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're just going to call it here. I'm not even going to bother with a raid.
I don't even understand how the rating stuff works.
It's an impromptu raid. Go find someone you like on Twitch and support them, or come hang out with us in the Discord. You've got the link and everything. Thank you all so much. I will keep you posted. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day.